Welcome to CTV News Trendline with Michael Stittle and Nik Nanos.
What's your latest ballot tracking saying?
Well, they're 13 points back of the Conservatives. The Conservatives are at 38, which is still majority territory. The Liberals are at 25, NDP 20. And you know what? There's only a 5-point gap right now between the Liberals and the New Democrats. That's not a lot. And if some Liberals decide to shift over to the NDP or just move away, we could see the Liberals and the New Democrats at some point in the future, perhaps even within the margin of error, which is bad news for the Liberals. It's kind of like the pre-2015 danger zone for the Liberals, where they were in third place. Green Party's at 8%. They're up 2 points. Bloc's at 6. People's Party at 3. But right now, the Conservatives still firmly in the driver's seat. Liberals basically on the ropes.
It's interesting, Nick, that we've seen a little rise in Green support. The Liberals have made fighting climate change, a major part of what they want to do, and the NDP in their governing deal are sort of tied with that. So if we continue to see the Green Party climb, what does that mean for the NDP and the Liberals?
Well, it means vote splits that probably help the Conservatives, actually. Let's face it, if you're an environmental voter, you could have been with the Liberals. You're probably disappointed with what's happened in the last week or so. The NDP are connected to the Liberals from a parliamentary agreement perspective, and the NDP are focused on pharmacare. We haven't heard very much on the environment from Jagmeet Singh and the New Democrats, which means that perhaps this could be an opportunity for the Green Party to re-engage Canadians to defend and advance kind of their carbon tax and their environmental policy. And they could be a parking space for voters that are environmentally conscious. And you know what? If an election scenario presents itself where the Conservatives are going to win regardless, people will start deserting all the other parties, and they'll look at parties like the Green Party, like the Bloc, and even the Bloc Québécois.
So we've looked at the popular support. How does that translate into seat projections?
Well, when we look at the trend line on the Nanos seat projections that we do every month, you can see that the Conservatives have a significant advantage. The Liberals right now are poised to lose 46 seats, with the Conservatives picking up 40. And when you look at some of the regional numbers, the Liberals, the only place where they're picking up seats and may pick up seats is the province of Quebec, 7 at our count. But you check out those Conservative numbers across the country. They're picking up seats in British Columbia. They're picking up seats in Ontario, in Atlantic Canada. The interesting thing is that there's still about 72 seats or thereabouts that are too close to call. So it's not over by any stretch. It might not be as bad for the Liberals as predicted, because there's still some seats that are Liberal seats, especially, but they're basically those members are in a fight for their life.
Can we just take a moment and zoom in on BC, Nick? Because I remember in the last election, I think the Liberals and Conservatives were only separated by something like a couple ridings. Where are they now in your projections?
Well, what we're seeing in BC is the Liberals getting completely pummeled in the province. We have them losing 11 seats with,
wow.
Exactly. With the Conservatives actually being the primary beneficiary. So think of BC as that the Liberals going down, splits between the Liberals and the New Democrats actually helping the Conservatives pick up seats. So that's going to be a key battleground. The other wild card in British Columbia is going to be the Green Party. It's going to be interesting to see how the Green Party does in British Columbia, because they usually punch above their weight in that province, and that I'm sure they'd like to try to pick up another seat. And British Columbia would be ground zero for picking up another seat right now.
And I see another big change in Ontario.
Yeah, and this Ontario is what is primarily putting the Conservatives in the driver's seat, especially pushing them into majority territory, because right now the Conservatives are poised to win a lot more seats in Ontario, and this is where the Liberals are just getting hammered. Not a big change for the New Democrats in Ontario, but it looks like all those suburban seats, like the Bramptons, Mississaugas, those types of things, some of the ridings in northern Toronto, Vaughan moving towards the Conservatives, the NDP potentially having a pickup in places like the Danforth and stuff like that, but primarily a loss for the Liberals and a pickup mostly for the Conservatives with a little bit of NDP thrown in there.
Any other surprises or emerging trends that you're seeing?
Well, the fact that the Liberals right now could pick up perhaps another 7 seats in Quebec speaks to the fact that this is going to be the Liberal core vote, the heartland, whatever you want to call it, their regional base. So if we see the Liberal numbers unravel in Quebec, then that's going to be a massive problem. Because in my experience, to win an election, you need a regional base, and then you need to challenge in other areas. So the fact that the Liberals still have a regional base in Quebec is good for them at this time, but they can't afford to lose them. Right now, for the Conservatives, they have a regional base in the West, which is a lock. When I say the West, La Prairie's. And they're also doing really well in provinces like Ontario, British Columbia, and Atlantic Canada.